Hey everybody, how's it going? My name is Steve from Steve Songs, and I'm here to talk with you today about songwriting. It's one of my favorite things to do. It's actually what I do for my job. I get to write songs and then travel all over the country and share those songs with friendly folks like you. So in addition to talking about songwriting today, I'm working on a challenge and I'm hoping that you might be able to help me. You see, I wrote the song called Brush, Brush, Brush a while back. Just recently, I realized that it's a pretty short song. I'd love for it to be longer, so I'm thinking about creating a brand new verse to the song. And if you're up for a challenge, maybe you can help me out with that. How's that sound? Good? Great. Excellent. All right, before we jump into things, I want to go over a few terms that we'll be using during this session. The first term is a musical term called melody. Now, melody is something that's, I think, easier to explain with an example than it is with a definition. But melody, the definition of melody, is the string of individual notes and the rhythm of those notes put together that make up the main tune of a song. That's the definition. But here's an example. I think you know the song Happy Birthday, right? Okay. Well, the melody to the song Happy Birthday is ba 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 ba. Those notes in that rhythm is the melody to Happy Birthday. Any song that you hear on the radio that has words to it, the lead singer is most likely singing the melody. They're putting words to it, so they're singing words while they sing the melody. By the way, does anybody out there know what we call the words to a song? There's a special term for it. If you think you know what it is, you can just call it out. Oh, that's loud. Okay, if you said, I want pizza, sorry, that's not the correct answer to that question. But if you said lyrics, yes, that is the correct answer. Lyrics is what we call the words to a song. All right, let's check out the melody to the song Brush, Brush, Brush. I got my guitar, and the song goes like this. Wake up in the morning and I brush, brush, brush. So the melody is ba ba da ba da ba da ba da bum bum, and then bum 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 bum, like that, and so on. So for the second verse of the song, we're going to stick with the same melody as the original or the first verse. Okay, so we got that taken care of. We can leave that on the shelf for now. And we'll talk about the next term, which is rhyming. This is probably something that you've heard of before. Rhyming is when we have two or more words that have the same ending sound, like what rhymes with hat, cat, sat, mat, flat. That's right, there's a lot of them. What about acrobat? That's a rhyme. Let's take a look at the Brush, Brush, Brush song and see if we can find rhymes in the first verse. Okay, if we look at the first line of the first verse, it says, wake up in the morning and I brush, brush, brush. The second line says, comb my hair and eat my mush. Now, if you're looking for rhymes, you can see that brush rhymes with mush. Okay, so we have the last word in the first line rhyming with the last word in the second line. Let's take a look at the third line. Blow a kiss and I'm on my way. And then the final line here, this fourth line says, I get to go to school today. If we look for rhymes there, we see that day rhymes with way. Exactly. So we have the last word in the third line rhyming with the last word in the fourth line. So this is an example of a rhyming pattern that we call AABB. You can see that. Line 1 rhymes with line 2, line 3 rhymes with line 4. Okay, so when we write our new verse, we're going to stick with that same rhyming pattern. So we have our melody, we have our rhyming pattern. Now we just need something to write about. That is our creative challenge or our creative problem, which brings us to the final term that we're going to talk about today, and that is brainstorming. Brainstorming is a fantastic way to attack a creative challenge or creative problem. In this case, our creative challenge is, what are we going to write the second verse about? Now, there's many, many different ways that you can brainstorm. You can brainstorm as a group. You can brainstorm by yourself with a sheet of paper and a pencil or typing ideas into a document on a computer. You can brainstorm in a very open-ended way where you simply write down your creative problem or creative challenge, and then you just think of any idea that comes to mind that might solve that problem. Or you can have a more focused approach, and that's kind of what we're going to do today. I'm going to show you a few examples of potential focused approaches to brainstorming for our second verse. Now, if you go back to the first verse, we look at the words, we see that this is a song about getting ready and heading off to school. So if we think about what the second verse might logically be about, it could be about the journey to school. And so that can be our focus for a brainstorming session. We can think about all the different ways that we might get to school, or things that might happen or might not happen on the way to school. So let's do this. Let's give it a shot. Let's write down on the top of a sheet of paper our creative challenge. What will the second verse be about? And then below that, we can write down our focus for this brainstorming session. And our focus is our journey to school. Now all we need to do is just come up with ideas that come to mind when we think of our trip to school.